Have you ever wondered where the beautiful, smooth satin stitch actually comes from? What if I told you this beloved embroidery technique has a history so rich and ancient, it predates many of the civilizations we study today? Join me as we journey back in time all the way to ancient China to uncover the surprising origins of the satin stitch. Hi guys, welcome back to FLOSSTUBE number 14. My name is B and this is Samplers with Blue. I'm so excited, so happy and thankful that you guys are here spending time stitching with me. We have a lot to cover today. I'm going to talk to you about my current WIPs. I'm going to have a new winner for the linen, and I'm going to continue the poll of which February sampler that you guys, which February ornament you guys want me to work on. I think I started that last week. I'm getting some votes in, and if you haven't voted yet, I'm gonna give you another opportunity to keep voting this week, and then I'll share the results the following week. And the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is going to be the satin stitch. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the satin stitch, as well as I'm going to do a little demo. Thank you so much, Sean, aka the Periwinkle Stitcher, for the shout out. I really appreciate it. It's an honor for me to have you, watch my channel, my YouTube. Really appreciate the shout out. Thank you so much. Right, today's first order of business is to announce the new winner for the linen. And that is Shelly at Shelly Love 4142. If this is you, please contact me at samplerswithblue@gmail.com, and I will send this linen out to you. Again, this is Shelly Love 4142. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, for subscribing. And just contact me so I can get this linen out to you quickly. Today, we're going to travel back in time to uncover the story behind one of our favorite stitches, the satin stitch. Have you ever wondered about the story of the satin stitch that makes your embroidery and needlework pieces pop? Let's dive in. Get ready for a fascinating story. Our first stop, ancient China. We're talking Tang and Song dynasties, 600 AD, 1279 AD. The artisans in China at the time were working with silk in these gorgeous fabrics, working with silk on silk. They would draw with exquisite detail and incredible techniques for the time. These techniques, worked by highly skilled embroiderers, made their way through Asia and Europe, throughout Europe, via the Silk Road. You guys studied the Silk Road in school. What was the most valuable item that was traded along the Silk Road? Any guesses? If anybody guessed silk, you guessed correctly. Silk was currency. The Romans traded gold for silk. It was that valuable. I did a little digging for you guys, and the reason why silk was so valuable and traded as currency was not just because it was such a rare material, but because the Chinese were so good at standardizing the bolts of silk at the time that could be dependent on to be, standard bolts of silk would have these universal weights and amounts that it was used to trade. The bolts of silk could be dependent on uniform measurements so that you could designate a value to a bolt of silk. And because the bolts were uniform, the bolts had a predetermined value. For example, a bolt of silk at the time was roughly 22 inches wide and 41 inches long with about 13-inch diameter. These bolts of silk were also graded for quality. It ranged from fine, medium to coarse. Obviously, the finer the silk, the more expensive and the more valuable the bolt of silk. Soldiers in the Tang Dynasty were paid with bolts of silk, roughly 3 bolts per year, which was the equivalent of $2,400. They were also additionally given food and board for the year. But for example, a public official in the Tang Dynasty in the government would be paid roughly the equivalent of $240,000 a year, which translated to about 300 bolts of silk. You could use the bolts of silk to pay your taxes. You could trade them for lodging. You could, it was currency. So food, materials, weapons, anything that you wanted to purchase, you could purchase with these bolts of silk. It was more universally accepted than the metal coins that we've seen in museums and that we've learned about, because the metal coins would often corrode and their value was specifically related to the country of origin. So for example, you would have Roman coins stamped with emperors that were at the time in power in Rome, but they weren't valuable for example, in China at the time, because it didn't have the currency meaning that it does in Rome or in other different parts of the world. So that was pretty interesting to learn. Whereas silk was so universally desired as a material, and again, like I mentioned earlier, it was standardized. Silk became a currency that was desired and accepted globally. Let's dive into a satin stitch tutorial to build upon the history of this the silk and the satin stitch that we just discussed.
All right, guys, so this is just a little tutorial regarding the satin stitch and a little demo how to. So you're going to start with your stitch from the top of your border, and then you go with that thread, you go stitch it all the way down to the other side, to the opposite side across the bottom. And then you pull the thread through. And then you go back up through the next hole adjacent, and you repeat this process. So you start at the top and then you go across to the bottom and pull the thread through. And you just keep going like this, and you repeat from the top, pull it, the next adjacent hole to the bottom, across, straight across, down. And you keep going like this, and you keep going like this, and you repeat it. And when these stitches are right next to each other, they look like satin, like a solid, shiny, reflective surface. All the way as you continue these stitches, you'll get a nice, beautiful, solid surface. So you guys got this.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna do this for one more week, as I mentioned. I'm planning on starting my, I'm planning for the February ornament. As I mentioned, I'm planning to do an ornament each month of this year, of 2026. For January, you guys have seen already what I've started with, and I'm going to show that progress in a little bit. But I did start this poll last week, and I just wanted to continue to give you guys an opportunity to keep voting for one more week, and then I'm going to share the results next week. So the choices are for February, either the We Santa 2023 from Heart in Hand, or the Cardinal kit from Katie Strachan Embroidery, and it has all everything included in it. I have everything kitted up for each of these projects ready to go. So just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to keep voting. Right now, this is very much Cardinal kin. People are loving this one, and this looks to be like the front runner at the moment. But let's see what happens this week, if anything changes. Thank you guys again for your votes, for participating, and let's dive into my WIPs. So the first WIP that I want to go and share with you guys is the Blessing Sampler that I started January 1st, which is now a couple weeks ago. So this is where I am. So almost halfway through the month. Actually, yeah, we're halfway through the month. And I am not halfway through with this sampler yet. And I thought that I would be, because it's such a small sampler, and I thought that I would be going a lot faster on this than I actually am. So it is, my stitching time this past week has been not so much. So let's just go and show you what I have. So I did continue, as you see, on the left and right side, on the borders. I completed the first band of alphabet A through H, and I'm starting on the second band of alphabet on the IKJ, IKL. And below the first band, you'll see the this horizontal band. And that's another specialty stitch. This specialty stitch is called the Montenegrin stitch, and it was very, very fun to do. I really enjoyed it. And after doing it for, like, I would say 3 to 4 times, I really got the hang of it. So off I go to the races. The next WIP that I wanted to share with you guys is my progress on the January ornament, which is a Cardinal. Well, I just realized the possibility of another Cardinal to be stitched for February. That's pretty funny. So there's Cardinals in February, potentially, if you guys keep voting on this one. And the January ornament also has Cardinals. So a theme perhaps for the year. I don't know. I don't think I have another Cardinal ornament for this year, but I'll have to dive into to see. Anyway, so this is where I am right now. I finished the stitching on the body of the Cardinal, and there's some holly leaves as well underneath them that I did, and I started doing this little corner, the bottom corner of the ornament, and then I'm working on the year. I am changing this digit because in the original it is a 4. And yes, it has taken me 2 years to start this. Don't judge. But yeah, this is where I'm at. It's actually looking, coming together. It's a little bit larger than I expected because I am stitching this on 36 count. So well, it's just gonna be a large ornament, and it is what it is. So that's this one. Next WIP that I want to show you guys is Mary Wallace, my progress on Mary Wallace. I've spoken about this one. This was my birthday start for 2025. And what I did in this one, since last time you've seen it, is I started on the grass that is below the house. And then I worked adjacent to the house. I worked on the little urn next to that. Over on the other side of the sampler, I worked a little bit on the flowers, adding some pink. And then also started on the over 1 verse. So right now it just says my races are, which is going to continue the verse. But I'm really enjoying the over 1. I really enjoy working on this piece. It is a cute little sampler, and I love it. And I'm using mostly called for, but I think I mentioned last week that I am changing some of the colors in the house, as well as just change the color of the grass below it. So you can see that. All right, and then this, my last WIP that I wanted to show you guys is Dorcas. So this is where I'm at with Dorcas, and my gosh, she's a magnificent sampler, but she's very detailed, and a lot of specialty stitches, and I'm only in the 3rd band, and it takes a long time to work on it, but the results are exquisite. All right, so let's see where I am from last week. What I did is last week I think I told you that I finished all the oh my gosh, what are they called? All the tendrils. I said I finished all the tendrils, but I didn't. When I looked at it again, I noticed that in this piece right here, in this side, I hadn't done it. Take a look at the one from last week, and you'll see that it was not complete. And so I worked on that. I completed the tendrils, as you see, and then I completed stitching the satin stitch for the vine. And I did a little bit more on the grape leaves. I finished the 2nd cluster of grapes, filling in with the satin stitch. And that's where I'm at. So it's going slow, but that's okay. I'm very much enjoying it. I love these colors. I am tweaking them a little bit. These are the 17th century colors as selected by the attic, with a few minor changes from me. But I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I'll be continuing to work on these next week, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys again, sharing my progress. Guys, I almost forgot. I do have another giveaway for this week, and that is, I think I showed you, well, I know I showed you a few videos ago, my first birthday sampler, which was Hannah Campbell by Hands Across the Seas Samplers. what I'm going to give away is my copy of the chart. It is well loved, so it's not brand new or anything like that, but I know that you know, some of you may want this chart. So if you want this chart, again, it's loved. I don't have the plastic binding for it. This was before I was aware of how precious the charts are and how pristine to keep them. So I lost that somewhere, but I am giving the chart, the booklet, away. I'm not going to show what's inside because that's gonna have the chart, but it is the original copy of Hannah Campbell that I purchased. And I just wanted to thank you guys again for subscribing, for watching these videos, and being along with me on this stitching journey. I really hope that whoever wins this, it brings them joy to stitch Hannah Campbell like it did me. I'm going to ask that you guys are a subscriber to my channel, like the video, and comment with the word rice. And the reason rice is the word is because this is the first time that I've done the rice stitch. It's over here in the house. This is all done in rice stitches, and the rice stitch, as you guys know by now, is my favorite stitch. So if you'll use the word rice in a sentence, I would enter you in the drawing. Oh, and also please be 18 years of age or older and live in the United States. Thank you guys again so much for watching the videos, for subscribing, and I hope that you guys, I hope that one of you wins this chart. I thank you guys for watching the video, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. Even if you're not commenting, just really appreciate you guys. Thankful for all of the new subscribers. There's a lot of new ones to mention, but really, guys, from the bottom of my heart, like really appreciate everyone that is taking the time to watch this little channel. So enjoy your week.